X and all those other joints. Is Kev from Kevin's Corner, where I try to make sense out of nonsense. And I hope you all are doing well. It is Saturday, and I told you I'd be back. Yeah, man. So we got some stuff to talk about tonight. So if this is your first time joining the show, hit the like button, share my videos, follow me on all the other social media platforms and stuff like that. But first, let me know that you can hear me. I see some people in the chat over there on my other network, my other channel, and but I don't see the chat here. Let me get close and see if it pops up. Yeah, okay, there we go. Okay, like did I just say Ote? Sound like buckwheat. Remember Eddie Murphy? Ote, boys and girls. Yeah. So anyway, I see you guys popping up there. Luciano. All right, thumbs up. Okay, good. Then y'all know the drill. Let me go ahead and get busy. So I can get real loose. As a goose. I'll talk about that number in a minute. Here we go. Real gorilla. What? There's some kings in the building. Gorillas in here. Gorillas in here. Yeah, somebody said they're checking in from Detroit. That's what I'm talking about. That's right up the street from me. Detroit's not far. It's not far. I haven't been up there in quite a while. I came up there and slid in some dancing a couple times. So let me slide in some dancing, make sure. You know what I'm saying? But I do like Detroit. So welcome to the show from Detroit. Oh, yeah. All right. I see people chiming in. Oh, man, y'all make me feel good on the inside. Make me feel good on it. Sometimes I get discouraged on the inside, and then y'all get me all bubbling and stuff on the inside. Make me feel good. So anyway, happy Saturday. Hope your Saturday is going well. That number that you saw on the screen in the beginning, that's the way that you can stay in contact with me. If you text MAGA to that number, 330-974-4607. Yep, and I see somebody say hi from New Jersey. Sure. Did you go to the rally? That's my question. Did you go to the rally? I want to know. Tell me the nother stuff. If you went. So welcome to the show from New Jersey. And who else? Let's see who else is chiming in. Eagle Eye. All right. Oh, yeah. So these are some products from my corner store, by the way. If you get a chance, you can check out the store, or you can support the channel in other ways. By simply donating to the channel through my CASHAPP and my PayPal. Somebody said 100K. Oh, yeah. I wish, my glasses, I tell you, man, my eyes are getting horrible, y'all. Horrible. I mean, I love doing this, but boy, it kills the eyes. Hold on, I got to go darker. Those weren't even dark enough. Sometimes I'll be walking around with a stick like, okay, wait a minute. Let me find out where I'm going here. So anyway, yeah, pray for my eyes. I'm going to have to lay hands on me. All right, so now let's get into some stuff that we didn't get a chance to talk about last week when I was, of course, extremely tired from working myself to death every day and every night, which I did want to touch on this, as you saw in the title. But before we get into that, we always got to stop, past the creepy campaign and see what's going on with him. We can't start the show off without cracking on creepy. I love cracking on creepy. Yeah, I'm not ashamed of it. I'll pick on old, dilapidated men like him who's filled and infested with evil. Yeah, I'll pick on him. I don't care. It's the evil that makes me overlook all of his ailments. See, it's the evil that overcomes the ailments. Yeah, if you got evil, then it overcomes your ailments. So now I'm allowed to go ahead and let you have it. Normally, I would overlook these things, but I can't now. So let's go ahead and get it. Somebody said happy birthday. There's somebody in there. Happy birthday in August. Okay, wait a minute. Hold on. Did I miss a birthday? I was going to go ahead and get it going here. Okay, happy birthday. Okay, maybe it's a false alarm. Let's get it. See what's going on in the creepy camp. Please jump. Wait a minute. Jump. Let's see what's going on with this.
So in the continuing saga of the President of the United States, we've got Joe Biden wrapping up a speech earlier in the week, and now he's got this new thing he does.
Is what?
It's not yelling, don't jump, although he's still doing that as well, but it's acting like he's going to jump. He walks over to the people that are cheering, supposedly cheering, and acts like he's going to jump at them.
Whoa.
What the heck is this all about? And
yeah, that's what I want to know. I've been watching Creepy do this for a while now. What is that? Is that just An impulse? Is he suffering from late Tourette's in his old age? What is going on with that? What is that? So now, not only is he telling folks not to jump, but then he's pretending to jump. And what is he jumping at? Let's go ahead and see if we can get to the bottom of this jump.
Why does he think this is funny? Well, he thinks don't jump is funny, so
He does think that.
I suppose we shouldn't be surprised.
Here's some examples. Look, there's another one. Now, my thing is, please jump. I want to see what would happen if he jumped off that stage. He would turn into dust as soon as he hit the ground. That man right there would just completely explode, but yet he's tempting. He's tempting himself to jump off the edge with this crap. Now, when you already got a problem with your motor skills, you might not want to walk over to the edge and pretend to jump. Now, you know Chameleon Kamala right there probably wanted to go right off the edge. I want to be pressed immediately, but she pretends to catch him. So let's go ahead and see Joe Biden with this new crazy impulsive jumping thingamajigger. Because in my mind, I'm going, well, don't talk about it, be about it, baby. You know what I'm saying? Poop, or get off the pot. So I want to see what he gonna do.
Hey man.
Hey man.
Don't jump. You look crazy enough to jump. Don't jump.
Hardy,
Don't jump.
hard.
Don't jump. Don't jump. Don't jump.
Thank you, sir.
What is that? What is that? You come out looking like the fool, Joe. Don't jump. Don't jump. Don't jump. And then put the mask back on and it's all crooked across your face. Dang on it. So let's go ahead and continue. There he is again with that big black mask.
Don't jump.
What is that? What is this?
Hey man. Don't jump. You look crazy enough to jump. Don't jump. Don't jump.
What is that? He thinks it's hilarious. He thinks it's hilarious. But see, in my opinion, it would be funnier if he jumped. Especially if he thought that he has the type of crowds that love Joe enough to catch him in the crowd. So that 100,000 folks that we saw up in New Jersey, where Trump was at, I'm sure if Trump would have ran over and jumped in the crowd, they would have caught him and he'd have surfed across the crowd. That's one of my dreams. Jump in the crowd and see me going all across the crowd like this. That's what I want to do. But what do you think would happen if Creepy jumps? If the Secret Service ain't there to catch him, he's going to explode right on the ground.
Then there's this most famous don't jump moment by Joe Biden
What's these?
while standing on the stage with Paralympic basketball players.
Here we go. Don't jump.
He's so insensitive. The social awareness of this dude is horrific. I'm sure as soon as he said that, everybody was just like, oh, God. So there you have it. All of those people right there that unfortunately might be disabled and can't jump. And here's Joe. Don't jump. There you go. And I want to see him do it. I want to see him. If I was in that crowd, I would encourage him. Come on, Joey. Do it, baby. We got you. We got you, Joey. Jump. There he goes. Immediately, I would hit him with the slide, the Morris Day. My jungle love. And see what happens. So, and his words, no, please jump. I wouldn't be saying don't jump. I'd be going, please jump. Every time you do that, I'm going, please jump. I want to see what's going to happen. So anyway, let's move on to some more of his lies and deception when it comes down to this whole economy thing, because this is falling apart. He's losing, really, his ability to move the American people towards voting for him again because the economy sucks. That's all they got. They're trying to lie to everybody about the economy. We all know that. Abortion really isn't that much of an impact that they thought it would have, especially considering how masterfully Trump came out and dismantled their whole argument, which makes them now have to lie. Trump pretty much said that he supports every single state banning women, and they know that's not the truth. So they don't really have a serious leg to stand on when it comes down to motivating the American people to come out and vote. So let's revisit a big fat lie that Joe's been telling about, of course, inflation, and see how Black Gay Drop handles it. Let's see how she handles it.
We have the strongest economy in the world. Let me say it again.
It's not just the world, it's the
Although
world.
GDP last week was far short of expectations.
Oh, it wasn't. Look, GDP is still growing. Look
No,
at
it
the
wasn't.
response of the markets.
No, it wasn't. Y'all hear that? All right, look, we're trying to make $1 million. We only made 100,000. We were far short of our goal. No, we wasn't. But wait a minute, aren't you the head CEO? You're supposed to know numbers, right? Well, yeah, I do. Well, the goal was 1 million. We're at 100,000. We fell short of our goal. No, you didn't. So that guy right there, this is not an opinion. This was a fact. And he straight responded like, no, I just. So let's see.
Overwhelmingly positive. Overwhelmingly positive. And one of the reasons why people feel good about it, not being as strong as it was before, is they believe that the Fed's going to respond.
They hope they're going to get a rate cut.
Yeah. Well, but I mean, no president's had the run we've had in terms of creating jobs and bringing down inflation. It was 9% when I came to office. 9%. But look.
Is that true?
Of course not.
No, it's not.
Biden falsely claimed that inflation was 9% when he took office.
It was 9% when I came to office.
He did say that.
9%.
Inflation was actually 1.4% when Biden was sworn in.
Now that's a big difference. Let me see. 9 minus 1.4. It goes down to 8. Okay. All right. Yeah. That's a big difference, Joe. But hey, it don't matter. It don't matter to Joe. Because see, maybe it was just a one-time Freudian slip. So, something like that. Slip of the lip. Who knows?
Peaking at 9.1% in June 2022.
It was a simple mistake. It could happen to anyone.
4 to 6 days later.
No, don't
Why
do
don't
it.
households feel wealthy right now?
Well, first of all, if you look at the reports coming out of the Michigan
No, he ain't gonna
survey,
run it back.
Over 60% of the people in America feel they're personally in good shape. They're personally in good shape. But they look out and they say the rest of the world's not in good shape. Other people aren't in good shape. I think inflation has gone slightly up. It was at 9% when I came in.
He did it again. So wait, he ran that back twice? You're telling me that this man right here either don't remember them probably telling him, Joe, don't you go out there and say it's 9%. You know the heat we took when you said that last time? We tried to come out here and try to cover this mess up. So don't say that again. So either he forgot and went out there and ran that same lie back, or they said, just keep saying it. Because you might come down with some heat, some criticism or something like that. But that doesn't mean that the eggheads and the bubbleheads that are watching you and hear it for the first time will go back and see the fact that you're lying. See, at this point, we have no choice but to come up with some crazy, bizarre numbers because you stunk it up throughout your whole presidency. All right. And don't be trying to sit back and lie about what I inherited. So now all of a sudden, how do you justify this lie? That's my question. Now, he didn't say it twice. You would have thought they would have drilled this into this man's head the first time. Don't you go out there and say that lie again.
And it's now down around 3%.
This is unbelievable.
Oh, it is unbelievable.
All right, I gotta know we have to wrap
Oh,
up.
here we go. It's time for Black Gay Drop. Yeah, to the rescue. She started off like I know already this is going to be a long
This is unbelievable.
All right, I gotta know we have to wrap up. Go ahead.
Hold on. She should go and start stretching. Get loose for this lie. I got to get loose for the lie. Get the calves stretched out, the hammies. There you go. The back bends. Okay, yep. Line is a tough job. Got to get loose. Here we go.
I'm going to ask you about how the president talks about inflation. So, two times over the past 2 weeks, the president said inflation was 9%
Get the notes out, Black
when he
Gay.
came into office. Is the president misleading Americans on that, or does it just not realize that inflation was 1.4% when he came in?
You see Black Gay going through them notes? Like, all right, which lie? I got it tagged in here. 9% inflation lie. Okay, there we go. Okay, I'm ready. All right, now what was the question again? I was looking for the 9% inflation lie.
And thank you for the question, because I know that we got a lot of incoming on this yesterday. And look, what the president was, the point that he was making.
See? Now you see that? Instead of saying that it was a lie, it was the point that he was making. No, we don't want to know about the point. See, because he never said the point that I'm making. He said it was 9%. So how do you square that, Black Gay? You're supposed to be the best at your job just because you're black, you're gay, and you're a woman. You're supposed to be the best just because of those things. So come on now. Yeah, use your Black Gay Drop powers.
is that the factors that caused inflation was in place when he walked into.
So the factors that caused it was in place. It wasn't the actual inflation number at the time. See, just like, I guess, the factors that were in place about border security caused, what, 12 million people to come into our country? I guess those factors were in place that Joe Biden came in and completely removed, that opened up our border. If he would have left well enough alone, see, maybe we wouldn't have 12 million or so people in our country right about now. I mean, all the factors were in place for this man to be successful. That's the irony of it all. Even with COVID, when he came in, it was still at one point, I think they said 2 or something like that, I'm not sure. If he would have went ahead and opened back up businesses, but nope. Yeah, they were so hell-bent on, becoming tyrants and controlling the population and running their big fat, psych op on everybody. They decided, let's keep the party going. So either they were very stupid and incompetent and never thought that, man, we're going to have another election coming up in 3 years or 4 years, and we're going to have to explain this mess. Now, I don't know if they just said we're going to rely on the fake news to carry us through it, propaganda, gaslighting, and the ignorance of the people, but it doesn't appear that it's panning out like they planned it. Because you would think if they were interested in getting reelected, they would have looked at the policies, the numbers at that time, all of the wonderful things that the majority of Americans probably would appreciate, liberal or conservative, and would have said, how about we just leave things alone or keep going in this direction? Now, it could have been that, man, anything Trump can do, we can do better. So let's tear all that down and try something else. Or it could have been more sinister than that. It could have been, we want to tear everything down and destroy everything so we can rebuild it in our image, and we'll just lie along the way. That is the Democrat strategy, is to lie along the way. There you go. So now here she is, brought out to lie along the way.
The administration when he took office.
Now we're going to run a few tests. This is
Wait, the entire Biden administration? This is what it would look like if they were taking a lie detector test?
a simple lie detector. I'll ask you a few yes or no questions and you just answer truthfully. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That is exactly what every single one of them. I wouldn't even mind having a lie detector test for them. Before Black Gay Drop comes out, I'd be like, hold up, hook the machine up to her and see her get through a press conference. Oh, man. Now, I'm going to tell you, there are some people, some Democrats, man, they're masters at lying. I think Crooked might be able to pull off beating a lie detector test. She's a sociopath. Yeah, he knows that he's not a legitimate president. He knows he's illegitimate. Nasty Pelosi, she might be able to pull it off. Adam the Shift, he might be able to slide through. But the rest of them would blow the whole machine up. Unbelievable. So now let's get to this current situation up there in New York when it comes down to Fat Albert. He's their last-ditch effort. You're our only hope, Obi Fat Kenobi. So right now, they're hoping that Fat Albert can go ahead and bail them out, but it doesn't appear to be going the way that they wanted it to go because of, one, they're evil and corrupt. And when you start off with a raggedy case that should have never been brought, you can't muster that up. You can't just get blood out of a turnip. You can't do it. See, if you have no foundation, if I'm trying to produce, a top level athlete and I'll go and pick somebody who is definitely malnourished, his parents are both 5'1", and I'm going, okay, I'm trying to produce a prototype here. I want somebody who's about 6'5", 6'6", ripped, natural mesomorph. And I'm like, this guy right here can barely walk. I know he's a kid and all, but what do you want me to do with that? You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go ahead and make something, out of this young man who it just ain't any. He just ain't got the basics to produce this type of prototype. So now they start off with a case that they don't have a foundation, but they're going to try to blow it up and make it big. Make it look like, yeah, man, it's robust. Look at this. Look at all these charges. Look at all these indictments. And I'm going, you started from zero. You started with no foundation. So now you really don't have much to build upon. So when you are called to the carpet, you got to come and present pretty much nothing. You got to go ahead and revert to tricks, antics, theater, drama, emotion, manipulation. You got to go through all of that just to get Trump. Now, I don't think they would have went through with this one if the other three didn't drastically just fall apart. If they thought they could have got a conviction out of that, they might have tried this one, but it wouldn't be so much emphasis on this. You know, they probably was like, all right, look, if you could pull something off, if you can at least drag it out a little bit, that's cool. But don't worry, Fat Albert. We got Laquifa, Big Cankles up there. She's doing her thing, and you won't have to really be the highlight of it all. Yeah, we got Big Cankles, then we got Fat Fanny down there. Hopefully, she'll go ahead and lead the way. And then you got, Jack in the Box. And so your little case, it won't be that big of a deal. It'd be just like, some rabbit punches. Just a couple of jabs there while we all jumping in with these other cases. But all the other cases fell apart. Now, Alvin Bragg is in the middle of the ring by himself facing Trump with these raggedy stats behind him. So now this guy comes out, Senator Scott, destroys them. Let's see how the media reacts because they're not taking it very well, y'all. And I love it. I love when they're not taking it well.
Who's involved in doing this? The lead prosecutor was the number 3 person the Biden Justice Department.
Oh.
The judges...
Wait a minute. There's no evidence. There's no evidence that the Biden administration knows anything about this. There's no evidence of that. See, so the third guy, I guess, or the second guy in charge, I don't know what position he was in at the White House, decided to go down there and just help out Alvin Bragg with this simple case of prosecuting the president of the United States, the former president. Yeah, he decided to go down there and do this, and we're not supposed to make that connection at all. It's just a coincidence.
Daughter is a political operative and raises money for Democrats. You've got the lead prosecutor's wife is a significant donor to Democrats.
Wow.
And I think to Biden. So this is just a bunch of Democrats saying, we want to make sure that Donald Trump can't talk. They've got a gag order, so he can't go campaign. They've got him holed up in a courtroom. So Joe Biden go campaign, but Donald Trump can't. This has to stop.
It does.
Look, we know that President Biden can't win this election fair and square.
True.
He has nothing to run on.
True.
And we know...
And we just saw that. We saw that with 9%. It was 9% when it came in, and look what it's at now. Yeah, we saw that. So right now, Senator Scott, you are on point. But my question is, how did they all think that they were going to be able to pull this crap off with such a flimsy case? And considering it is all lying on the shoulders of Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen. And this stinking judge attached his name to this case with all of this baggage hanging on him. With all of these connections with the DNC, the donations, everything about this case smells and reeks of corruption. And I'm thinking, why would this judge, how much prostitution can you have? This guy, what made him say, you know what, I think I'll go ahead and listen to this, especially after we hear this testimony coming up. So now I wonder if he's ever going to come to a conclusion that maybe I should just go ahead and throw this mess out after hearing this testimony we're about to hear.
President Trump has a record. He secured the border. He had a great economy. We were at war.
Whoa, now
so
that's
why this is happening. Joe Biden knows and Democrats know that he cannot win.
Meanwhile,
Case in
Send in the clowns. Send in the clowns. Y'all see Simone with that dome up in the middle. Now watch this acting performance. Y'all ready for this? See, they're lost for words right about now because they know it's all falling apart. So you got a whole cast of monkey shine, and Simone with the dome got the lead role.
In about falsified documents and the cover-up in Manhattan, and we don't know what the jury is going to do on that. We don't know if they're going to go so far and say, yes, he was trying to cover it up and he did these bad things. They may not get to all of those things. They may not come down on that. So
they may not come down on that, which we were hoping. We had hung our big, fat, corrupt, evil, stinking hat on Alvin Fat Albert Bragg. And we're hoping, but right about now, it's looking so garbage where you got CNN, folks like, oh man, this looks bad, man. Cohen, this dude's garbage. We got even some folks on MSNBC saying this looks bad. So now the panic is setting in. Yeah, this is that moment of realization that, oh man, it looks like everything's dying. I don't care how tough some people are. I mean, hopefully you'll never have to go through this. But there's that moment where somebody, if they are on their way out, you realize that there's no, I'm not coming back from this one. This one right here is the death blow. I don't care about how much mental capacity I use, how much words I speak, how much money I got. It's like, this one is it. I'm on my way out. Sayonara. That's what's happening right about now to all of these cases. And this is the last ditch effort. Like, oh man, I'm scared. I feel myself slipping away. I see all of this stuff slipping right out of our hands. And so Simone throws the fit. When you know it's over with, you start throwing fits. Oh, I'm in denial.
Oh, it's very disconcerting because we witnessed all of these things. We saw him do it. We saw him hold the documents. We saw him.
We saw him. I love that moment. Yeah, where you break. Yeah, that's right before acceptance. See, she's going through all the stages, okay? She's going through all the phases right now. So right now, she's in denial, but it's going to get to a point where acceptance kicks in. So we saw him. What did we see again?
Witnessed all of these things. We saw him do it. We saw him hold the documents. We saw him. We heard him on the tape.
We saw him do it. We saw him hold the documents. We saw him. We heard him on the tape.
Ooh-wee. Now, most people would try to be comforting during this situation. Most people would be like, don't just go with it. No, just go ahead. I'm here with you. Yeah, but not me. Not me. Cry, baby, cry. Cry, baby, cry. Cry, baby, cry. I like the temper tantrum. I want you to go into a big fat fit so I could be like, baby on the bus goes wah, 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 wah. The baby on the bus goes wah, 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 all through the town. Baby on the bus goes wah, baby on the bus. Said baby on the bus goes wah, 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 all through the town. Shimmer. I'll do it in Michael's voice. I'll go. I'll go Prince on him. Everything, man. The baby on the bus goes wah, wah, wah. Baby. I hit her with all of that. Baby on that bus goes wah, wah, wah. So I don't care. I want you to throw that fit. You think that's going to encourage me to stop? Nope, not after all of the havoc your network has created. I'm all over you like a spider monkey. So let's finish hearing all of them whine about Donald Trump and his case falling apart.
But there is hope, though.
Where?
At the end of the day.
Yeah, that guy tried to get her to move into the acceptance. But yeah, she's fighting it. She's fighting it. So you got to lay her back. Yeah. Let it go. Go ahead. Go with it. So now, let's hear this wonderful testimony that should be the nail in the coffin of this whole case. And see, after hearing this testimony, if Trump's lawyers, I guess, hopefully they know better than what I know. And they think, I've heard some comments and responses to this where they was like, we might not need this man's testimony. It looks pretty bad right about now. And, they're thinking that the jury probably, after all the shenanigans that have gone on, would probably be like, man, I don't believe Stormy Daniels. I don't believe Michael Cohen. But see, sometimes you got to dummy proof things. Like when I'm sitting here joking and I make a statement, and I use a metaphor about beating somebody up or doing something, I got to dummy proof it. I have to go ahead and say, if I was a liberal, how would I hear this through my liberal ears? How would I see it through my liberal lenses? I got to break this mess down to a point where it is almost fail-proof when it comes down to liberals justifying why they make choices. And this man's testimony, in my opinion, is fail-proof. This should be added, hopefully, to be the final nail in the coffin of this whole case. Because, yeah, we all know this is garbage, and all of the evidence shows that it's garbage, but this right here should be the dagger, not only in the case when it comes down to the jury, but also the judge should be going, man, if I overlook what this man has said and still go on pretending that Trump right here is the problem and he should be gagged and he's acting up in the court, and you know what, I'm gonna finish listening, just my career should be shot. It should be over that I'm allowing all of this and I'm pretending that this is a serious case. So now everybody should be questioning, why would a judge allow this garbage to continue when you hear a testimony like what we're about to hear?
Breaking news into the Fanfare newsfeed.
Cohen decided that while he didn't believe the allegation of the Stormy Daniels story, that he thought the story would be embarrassing for Trump and especially for Melania, so he decided he would take care of it himself.
Absolutely, and that is contrary to what this guy testified to in court in New York yesterday.
Well, wow. Now that off grip should be a dagger in the heart. So if I'm getting this straight, this is Michael Cohen's former lawyer when he was in trouble and asking this man to help save his life. And he's saying, yo, that's contrary to what he said the other day. Now the whole point of the Bragg case is to prove that Trump knew about this. It was his whole diabolical scheme. Yeah, he was on top of it, like, all right, do what you got to do, save my life. I don't want this to come out. But now we're hearing from a lawyer who I definitely trust more than Michael Cohen, come out and say that's not true. And I'm thinking, what would this lawyer's motive be to come out with this? Is he getting paid by somebody? I mean, I could see Michael Cohen's motive to come out and lie about all of these things, but I don't know why this guy would do this.
What's not being talked about is your next paragraph, like the reason and his motivation for that. So if you could just kind of walk through that for the committee.
Yeah, I need to know what Michael
specifically asked him, because he kept on going back saying, I can't believe they're trying to put me in jail for these NDAs. So I said, Michael, tell me about the NDA. Tell me about Stormy Daniels. What did you do? He said, I got a call from a lawyer representing Stormy Daniels who represented that she was going to testify that Donald Trump had sex with Stormy Daniels. Michael.
So now that sounds like a shakedown in itself. So out of nowhere, Skanky Daniels' lawyer calls Michael Cohen up and says, look, man, Stormy Daniels is about to say she had a little shimmy with Donald Trump, and we're going to come out with it and say something. And so what did Michael Cohen do? I'm sure he went right to Donald Trump and said, hey, I just got this call from Skanky Daniels' lawyer saying that you and her knock boots and they're going to come out and talk about it. Now I'm wondering, what would Trump have said? Would he have said, well, it's true. Let's go ahead and get a gag order going on. Let's go ahead and write it. Trump probably be like, man, that didn't happen. And I'm not paying this chick. This seems like, some type of shakedown. So let's see what Michael Cohen decides to do all on his own. I'm on my own.
Cohen said, I didn't believe the allegation.
Oh.
But I knew that such an allegation would be terribly embarrassing. He said it would be embarrassing. He focused on Melania Trump. He said, I didn't want to embarrass Melania Trump. He said, that's why I decided to take care of this on my own.
Wow. Now, right off grip, that blows everything away. I decided to take care of this on my own. I'm on my own. There you go. So now, why do we need to go any further? I'm sorry. We still got it. Okay. All right, let's continue. Let's continue though.
I went back to that several times. You did this on your own? On my own. Did Donald Trump have anything to do with it? No. Did you get the money from Donald Trump? No. From any of his organizations? No.
That's a lot of no's. No. Trump didn't know about Skanky Daniels. No. So now Skanky Daniels is trying to shake down Trump. Michael Cohen comes into the rescue all on his own. So, man, I don't even see why we got to go any further. But you know what? Just to dummy proof it, because we might have lawyers on the jury. They might try to spin it make these regular jurors say, well, yeah, I guess that's bad, but you don't think, so it could be reasonable doubt? It could be reasonable. See, I don't want that. I want this testimony to be so laid out and clear that you could be the most rabid, dang on liberal on that jury and gotta go, oh man. Okay, fine. He's not guilty. And this man's testimony is the one that does it. Let's continue hearing this wonderful testimony about what Cohen was really up to.
From anybody connected to Donald Trump? No. Where did you get the money? I took out a HELOC loan against my property. I said, why would you do that? He said, I didn't want anybody to know where I got this money. I didn't want Melania to know. I didn't want my own wife to know because she's in charge, he said, of the Cohen family finances. He said if she saw money coming out of my account, she'd ask me 100 questions, and I didn't want to answer any of them.
So he decided to keep it on the down low. See, I can make a song out of everything. Every statement. I can go ahead and make a song out of it. So Michael Cohen decided to keep it on the down low. So let's continue.
It was clear after talking to him for several days after that, whenever we talked on the phone or in my office, that he kept on bringing up the subject that he felt he was betrayed by not being brought down to Washington, D.C. This guy thought, he said to me, that he should have been Attorney General of the United States, or at least the chief assistant to the president.
What?
Ludicrous, but that's what he thought.
It's ludicrous, y'all. In the words of Mike Tyson, it's ludicrous. I can't believe, Michael Cohen thought that he could go down there. It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous. So now he thought that he would be taken. That's right. He thought he was about to get on the ark. And the doors closed. He's like, okay, don't worry, guys. I know I'm probably going to be the last one. They're probably going to have me shut the door. So let me see. We got snails. The snails are in. Okay, what's left? Okay, some ants. We got 2 ants. All right, this is my turn. Just a minute, Michael. Just stay right out there for a second. Okay, we got some parasites. And then 2 worms. Okay, here I come now. Boom. Door shut. Right in his face. Now that man's bitter. So let's go ahead and see how he responds to being left off the ark.
And he was very angry about that. Oh. He wanted to do something to put himself back into the inner circle of Donald Trump. That's why he took care of this on his own. Wow. It had to be a motivation.
Somebody said, no snakes allowed. No snakes allowed. Now, aren't you glad that even though Donald Trump at some point felt that Michael Cohen might be useful in his network, maybe to do some bottom feeding type stuff, but he also knew that I could never bring this dude to the big show. Everybody knows who can go to the big show. There are some friends and family members that you say, hey man, I can't take this dude to a fancy, elegant setting. I can't take this dude to the White House with me, or this, my cousin and them. They would embarrass me at the White House. Yeah, man, we can hang out. We can go to all kind of local stuff. But when it comes down to, all right, I got a call to go to the White House. Like I joke and stuff on the network. I use slang and jokes and all of that. But if I'm invited to somewhere where I need to make sure I'm aware of speaking the King's English, I know how to clean that mess up. You don't want somebody who can't toggle in and out of that. Know the difference when it comes down to a setting. So Trump was like, yeah, you're the guy for the neighborhood. We can't take you to the big show. And that's when the reality hit him, like, what? He looks at me like someone who would act a fool and embarrass the whole family. And I'm glad he did. Can you imagine that guy going up there with this weak jellyback spine of his, with this type of greed and ability to just shift and throw people under the bus and do whatever he got to do to save his life? You wouldn't be able to trust a snake like that nowhere in your cabinet at all, which there was plenty of them in there. And he would have been another one, if not the biggest one. So let's continue, though.
Michael Cohen is always working for things that benefit himself. And that's what he was doing here. That's completely different to what he said that he told the grand jury. Oh, different. That's completely different to what he's testifying to in New York.
Oh, yeah. Now, I'm wondering, how in the world did they assemble a grand jury in the first place? So the grand jury had to come in and listen to some type of evidence to say, all right, yeah, we'll go ahead and approve an indictment. So let's see what happened with that. Because based on this man's testimony, I'm thinking, how did they even get the grand jury? How did they get them to indict?
Robert Costello, he represented Cohen at the start of the federal investigation and has been released from his attorney-client confidentiality agreement. That's the reason why you're able to talk to us.
And now it's coming back to bite him. Michael Cohen released this man, and what he ended up doing is releasing the Kraken. So let's go ahead and listen to Costello the Kraken drop it on Michael Cohen's testimony on Fat Albert.
And sir, thank you for your time today. And we watched you before Congress yesterday, and that was something else. This is part of what you had said to Congress yesterday. Cohen told you, I swear to God, Bob, I don't have anything on Donald Trump.
Nothing?
Now, you testified before Alvin Bragg's grand jury. Did you tell them what you told Congress yesterday?
Wait a minute. Hold up. You telling me Costello testified for Alvin Bragg's grand jury? Surely they heard all of this stuff, right? Surely a grand jury, after hearing what we just heard, would have been like, man, why are we here then? You want us to indict Trump for this garbage? Surely, right? Unless something happened during that testimony.
Well, it's interesting you bring that up because before I testified on a Monday before the grand jury, I gave Alvin Bragg's assistant DAs the courtesy of about an hour and a half Zoom conference where I told them all of the exculpatory material that I had that they were supposed to put before the grand jury. Well,
exculpatory information that they were supposed to put before the jury. Now, I'm not a lawyer, but I would think that a prosecutor should not hold back exculpatory information. I would think that. I would hate to think that Fat Albert and the crew decided to say, forget all that exculpatory information. Thank you for the hour and a half of dropping everything that would exonerate Trump. But we don't need that mess, because see, our goal is to indict this man. Our goal is to find him guilty. So anything that stands in the way of that, we're sweeping that mess under the rug. We're sweeping that mess under the rug. We don't want to see that. So now, why did they do that? Doesn't that show motive? The motive is to get Trump. It's not to get to the bottom of justice. Because if that was the case, they would have included all of this very, very, crucial information.
When I appeared before the grand jury, they were asking me questions that, in my opinion, and I've been a federal prosecutor myself. I was deputy chief of the criminal division in the Southern District of New York. Yeah. Those questions they were asking me were not going to elicit the exculpatory information that I had. So
well, looky, y'all. So when they were asking him questions at the grand jury, and he's like, all right, Michael Cohen was desperate. He was suicidal. He was asking, how can you say that's enough. We don't need to hear that. We just want to know. So they were cherry picking, and they were making sure they controlled the narrative and the questions, and making sure this guy didn't drop out any exculpatory evidence that would cause that grand jury to go, man, this is garbage. Yeah, this is garbage. We're done with this. So let's continue, because I'm sure the upstanding, honorable prosecution in New York would never have done that, would they?
I began to expand upon my answers, and the DA's office was trying to shut me down, saying that I had finished my answer. And I told them that when I'm in the middle of answering a question, I'll decide when I finish my answer.
Yeah, you dirtbags. You big, fat, dirty douchebag, you, Alvin Bragg. That's what you are, looking like a hot water bottle. That's what you look like. You ever had back in the day your grandmama and them hang that big old hot water bottle on the back of the door? I used to be like, Mom, what's that? What's that, Grandma? It's a hot water bottle, boy. If you get a headache, put that bad boy on top of your head. Yeah, use it for everything. So now, this big fat hot water bottle had the nerve to just exclude all of that information. And I'm thinking, what the heck is going on here? Why would you do that? Shouldn't you be brought up on some type of charges yourself, Fat Albert? Yeah, overlooking exculpatory evidence.
I asked them not to interrupt me again. But basically, they only put in a small, cherry-picked group of emails. I presented maybe 200 to 300 emails and text messages to them. I had them with me, luckily, in chronological order. they put 2 or 3 into evidence. I asked them, are you going to put the rest of them into evidence?
No.
And they said no. And I said, remember, there's a court reporter there. I said, why not? They said there's a legal issue.
Because it destroys our case. It messes us up. It stands in the way of our goal and objective. Come on, Costello, you know why we're here. You think we're trying to go ahead and, exonerate Trump? Are you kidding me? The whole goal of this big fat production is to drag it out, make him stay off the campaign trail, dirty him up in the eyes of the public, and hopefully put together a raggedy jury that will somehow find this man guilty. And I'm saying more, for that to happen, it's a lot of moving pieces. A lot of moving pieces got to go ahead and fall in place, including the 2 raggedy witnesses that this all rests upon. Now, you got the sorriest witness ever. That's like having a quarterback with one arm missing. Yeah, he got a broken ankle, his ribs are cracked, and you're sitting back, all right, he's our guy, he's our go-to. Hopefully we can pull this victory out. And I'm going, our quarterback is down. He sucks. That's okay. I'm putting all my faith in him. You know, he walks with a limp and his other arm is missing. It doesn't matter. He can throw with his left. And I'm going, okay, coach, you know we're going to look real bad when you send him out there onto the field with one arm and limping. Everybody's going to go, why are y'all sending this dude out? You couldn't have found a better QB to play the game. So Michael Cohen is their raggedy QB that they sent out. And the coach is Fat Albert.
With him. I said, what's the legal issue? And he said, hearsay. Now, first of all, hearsay is admissible in the grand jury, so that's really not an objection. But I played along with him, and I said, hearsay? Well, then pay close attention to the next 2 sentences. I said, these documents were made in the regular course of business, and it was the regular course of business to make and maintain documents such as these at or about the dates indicated. I said, now you know, and I know, but the grand jurors don't know, that makes these documents business records.
Costello, you can't pull that mess over on Costello. Dang on it. Costello's like, look, man, you know that I know, that I know that you know, that you know that I know. Yeah. So these cats trying to pull a fast one. Costello showed up with all of the emails in chronological order to the grand jury. And he's like, wait a minute, how many of these you put into this whole indictment? Only 3? Well, what about all the other hundreds of them? Why didn't you want those? Oh, I thought there's speculative. It's hearsay. No. These were done during regular business hours. Yeah, we were writing it down, documenting it. That's why I got all the emails and this and that. I was getting paid to do this stuff. So it wasn't just we sitting around the golf course chewing the fat. All right, we were on the clock. So why then would you exclude this, Fat Albert, if you were not funky, stinking, and corrupt? So I guess I'm going to assume you're funky, stinking, and corrupt. You want to try to send an innocent man to the big house. And I hope you get sent to the big house, even though the house ain't big enough to hold you. So we have to build a whole new house just for you, Fat Albert. Just for you. Just like Rudy said, no more candy, no more nothing, no, because of you, Fat Albert. You. Let's continue.
And you know, and I know, but the grand jurors don't know that business records are an exception to the hearsay rule. So are you going to put the rest of the documents into evidence?
Good question.
And they indicated most likely no.
Why not?
So I simply said to the grand jurors, I said, you people should demand these documents. You should demand to see everything in chronological order so you get a real view of what Michael Cohen was like in those days at that moment in time.
So it appears to me that the goal and objective was to sway the grand jury to indict Trump by excluding exculpatory evidence and trying to make sure this man was contained to just little bits and pieces that would, encourage the jury to indict Trump. Anything else is like, be quiet. Look, man, I ain't asked you for all that. We just want the stuff that we can use to prove our point. Now, what kind of dirtbags are these people, man? If they don't pay some type of price after all of these shenanigans. Now, this guy right here needs to come back in and testify. I mean, I know that right now it's wrapping up, but I'm going, hearing this is damning. And just in case the bubblehead jurors are not watching Fox to hear that, wow, there's a guy out there. Yeah, bring him in, put him on the record saying all of these things. That's what I want to see. and see how Fat Albert and them adjust to this. Okay, yeah, you did tell us that you had exculpatory evidence, and okay, well, all right. Did you at the time? Oh shoot. Okay, no more questions. What can you say to this guy? He done interacted with them. He got all the records. He's smart. He's a lawyer. He's on top of it, man. Let's finish hearing from him.
I said, and then ask yourself this question. Why are they trying to keep these documents from me? Well, after that, I left the grand jury. I have no idea whether they put the documents into evidence or what happened, but subsequently Donald Trump was indicted. And you've seen the fruits of that indictment in this trial, which is a trial about something that's not a crime. When I met with Michael Cohen on the first day at the Regency Hotel when he was suicidal by his own admission, I explained to him non-disclosure agreements, NDAs as he was calling them, I said are perfectly legal because he kept on saying, why are they trying to put me in jail for an NDA? And I explained to him, that's not why they're trying to put you in jail. Obviously, they think you've done other things. What are they? He denied having done anything else. I didn't do anything illegal. I'm cooperating with the special counsel. I'm cooperating with Congress. Of course, he forgot to tell us that he lied to Congress.
Oh, so he just left that tidbit of information out. So now here he is thinking it's the grand, he's getting indicted because of, the non-disclosure agreement. And they're like, dude, that's not illegal. Just like it's still not illegal. But they're trying to make it illegal. See, they're trying to make something that isn't something. And they're all right, you know what? Let's make a problem out of something that's not a problem. So it goes to show once again and speaks to the motive of these people. When they're willing to go through all of this just to create this Frankenstein case. That's what they've done. It's a big fat Frankenstein case.
But he was desperately seeking, according to his own words, an escape route. I want you guys to tell me how I can get out of this, because he saw these enormous legal problems coming his way. They were so bad in his mind that he was willing to kill himself. And so I kept on going back and suggesting to him, listen, Michael, if you have something truthful on Donald Trump, now is the time to cooperate.
Now, see, this is crucial information. When you get a person that is desperate and their back is up against the wall, they're like a rat. The rat is up against the back of the wall like, okay, I'm pinned in. I ain't got no other choice but to fight. Some of the cutest animals in the world, when they get locked in and pinned in, man, they turn vicious. Yeah, if you don't believe me, catch a squirrel running around your house. See what happens. All right, get them in the corner. You be like, hey, I know they're cute and all. That big old fluffy tail, but he sure looks vicious. You don't want to take the chance. That squirrel's like, I ain't got no other choice but to all over you. So, Michael Cohen, being the rat that he is, his back was up against the wall. So if there was ever a moment for this dude to say, all right, I'm going to vomit up all of the evidence I can find on Trump to get me out of this, he would have done it right then. He would have done it right then. Because now he had an ally right there who was not coming in with a motive. See, what ends up happening is the prosecution, Alvin Bragg and the crew, needed to find somebody who was dirty, stinking, corrupt, weak enough, and vulnerable enough to where they could say, let's exploit this dude. Let's sweat this dude. But when he was dealing with Costello, Costello was like, look, man, it's obvious they want Trump. And if you got dirt on Trump, he wasn't against Trump or for Trump, it appears. He was trying to save this guy. And so if there was ever a time for honesty, if there was ever a time for Michael Cohen to just be like, yeah, I do got some stuff on Trump. One time he didn't pay this, or one time he told me. And the man the whole time was saying, I don't have nothing. Yeah, but then when he got indicted and got locked up, that's when the evil folks said, who is the weakest link that we can go and Oh, Michael Cohen.
And he kept on saying over and over again, 10 to 20 times, I swear to God, Bob, I didn't have anything on Donald Trump. I even said to him, Michael, think about this. Isn't it easier to cooperate against Donald Trump if you have truthful information than it is to kill yourself? Well, the answer is obvious. That was his moment in time. If he had something truthful to say, I'm willing to cooperate. But he didn't take that.
He didn't take it. So that man had an option to go out without having to kill himself. And he's like, nah. Because, once again, it's hard to say somebody is guilty, but you don't have any proof. So you just pull a crime out of nowhere, which Alvin Bragg decided that's what I'm going to do. And to this day, we still don't even know what the charges are, what the crime is. Like, what are we here again for? What's the ultimate? What's the end game of this? Okay. Now, what's going to happen to these people after all this is over? And this is why they keep doing it, because they can destroy people's lives, run them through the ringer, charge them, mess with their money, make them have to defend themselves through all of this garbage. And at the end of the day, when they're found not guilty or nothing, they just go, our bad. No hard feelings, right? Something needs to happen to these people, especially knowing that they, excluded exculpatory evidence.
Kept on saying, I have nothing on Donald Trump. No. And then when we got into the discussion of the Stormy Daniels NDA, he said specifically, and I cross-examined him on this was my idea. His idea to take care of the NDA because he had been contacted by a lawyer for Stormy Daniels who said she was going to claim that Donald Trump had sex with her. Cohen said, I didn't believe the allegation, but nevertheless, it would be embarrassing to Melania. That's Michael Cohen's words.
So both of them should get slapped in the face with some charges. Her and Michael Cohen. So knowing that Stormy Daniels was trying to shake Trump down, and Michael Cohen talking about, I didn't believe her, but I was going to go ahead and fix it anyway on my own, and then lying about it. As if Trump knew about it. This lawyer is blowing up every single element of Fat Albert's case. So Stormy, Michael Cohen, Fat Albert, and Fat Albert's assistant that came from the White House, and anybody else who coordinated this garbage, all need to be dealt with. All of them. So now, I'm enjoying this testimony right now. This type of testimony I can listen to all day.
He said, and so I decided to take care of this myself. Now, he took out a home equity loan for $130,000 and used that. And he did tell us that he got repaid later. We didn't get into the details of that because that was not what we were focused on at the moment. We were trying to figure out what was Michael Cohen going to be charged with by the Southern District of New York. And then, as you know, ultimately, he pled guilty to 8 counts, 7 of which had nothing to do with Donald Trump. Wow. And then after that, he attempted to cooperate by telling fibs to the U.S. Attorney's Office that Rudy Giuliani and I conspired basically to obstruct justice and tamper with the witness being Michael Cohen.
Which they're still trying to go after Giuliani right now. I just saw something pop up right before I started the live show that now they indicted Giuliani in Arizona. Democrats, man. These are some of the most evil, corrupt folks that they need to pay a price at the voter booth. Big time. And then when we get the power, we need to make sure the evil, corrupt DAs and all of these people aren't just targeting conservatives just because. They need to pay a price or they will continue to do this mess. So something's got to happen. I'm just saying. I feel like my dad. Oh, bless his soul. Old man Teddy, man. I moved back here back in the day to take care of him. He had a hip surgery. Sometime, I get on his nerves. And he had this statement he'd always say, hey, man, you left the refrigerator door cracked open. I told you, look, man, you know what? Something got to happen. Something got to happen. I'm telling you. And I'll be going, what? What's going to happen, Dad? What got to happen? Something. Like what, Dad? Something. I'm just saying. Something got to happen. Something got to change. I'm like, well, what's got to change? So I don't want to be the person to just keep saying something's got to change. Something got to happen. I'm just saying. I mean business. I'm talking about these folks need to pay a price so we're not out there just going, something got to happen. I'm telling you. Like what? Something? Nah. We need to come up with a plan, man, to make these people realize we cannot be destroying people's lives like this.
All these emails and text messages that I had, it was absolutely clear that there was no truth whatsoever to that. So the U.S. attorney said to Michael Cohen, in order for us to investigate this, you have to waive the attorney-client privilege. And that's what he did.
And it came back to bite him. Because now look who's out talking.
And when they called me up and presented me with the waiver, I then gave them the documents they requested. I went down and I was interviewed for a couple of hours with 2 AUSAs and 2 FBI agents. At the end of that interview, everybody was laughing because I showed how ludicrous the accusation was.
Yeah, so Michael Cohen tried to say that him and Giuliani was colluding against him and all that stuff. And all of them, after interviewing this man, was busting a gut. Like, this guy is a bunch of garbage. Get on out of here. Go on out there, Costello. You're crazy, man. You crazy kid. And this guy Cohen is a piece of work. So let's see.
And they being the Southern District of New York, never used Michael Cohen again. They didn't indict Donald Trump for anything, and they never used Michael Cohen, and they didn't give him any credit for his cooperation.
And then in come raggedy fat Albert Bragg. After all of this evidence, and yet then he decides, I think I could go ahead and make this happen. Or somebody called him and said, yeah, you need to make that happen. Somebody said they bankrupt Rudy. Man, I'm telling you, I hope he gets double for his trouble. I really do. I hope somehow he gets blessed and gets double for his trouble. These are evil, stinking people, man, who uses the government to destroy lives. That is the worst, man. People like that shouldn't be even close to power. Nowhere close to it. Boy, that burns me up.
That's a lesson that the Manhattan DA's office should have learned. They haven't learned it yet.
No, they haven't.
One of the things I found so interesting about what you just said, amongst many, is that the grand jury didn't get to hear some of the things that you thought they should hear.
Yeah.
And for all of us listening to you now, it's like, wow, the jury should probably hear this. And I wonder, have you been subpoenaed by the defense? Do you think you will be called to testify in New York at this trial?
I have not been subpoenaed. Whether I will be called to testify, it hasn't been decided yet. And then what would happen on redirect by the district attorney's office?
Now, I hope he's called in to testify. Somebody said, they tried to bankrupt Trump. And, the thing about it, Trump he was just a little too big to bankrupt. That's the problem. He's a little too big to bankrupt. But they went for it, and they're still going for it. If they could figure out a way to do it, they would. That's how stinking and nasty these people are, man. They're scum. I wish I could find a worse word than scum. Dumpster juice is my go-to. Dumpster juice is pretty bad. But I wish it was another word to describe how evil these people are. To go after a man's livelihood, to go after a man's freedom, and you obviously know that they are innocent. You got to be a special kind of evil to do that. Where you're going, I'm willing to lock an innocent man up because he stands in the way of my agenda, my power, my goal. You're stinking, man. I have no love for you. That's why with Joe Biden, I let him have it every time. I don't care if he's in, a bad place mentally. That man's infested with evil. I have no problem ripping nasty Pelosi, crooked Hillary, all of these corrupt, stinking Democrats, and talking about these stinking, corrupt, evil commentators on all of these raggedy networks too. I'll call Simone with the dome. I'll call them all kind of names. I'll get on Big Face, Scary J. Blige. I'll get on all of them. I'll let them all have it. Let's continue because they're evil.
If I were in Todd Blanche's shoes, that's the analysis I would make.
If you were in Todd Blanche's shoes, would you call you to testify?
Yeah, I almost lost my thought. Sorry, got on that. Yeah, so once again, what Trump's lawyers, in my opinion, should do is dummy-proof this whole case. You got to liberal proof it. You got to TDS proof the case. So yes, right now, you got some raggedy testimonies from Stormy Skanky Daniels and Michael Cohen, but there's still a lot of gray area in there of confusion. But this is hard to confuse. This testimony right here is plain and simple. Michael Cohen was desperate. He told me that none of this stuff was true. Trump did nothing. He knew nothing about this. I did it on my own. And I was mad because Trump wouldn't take me up to Washington. I wanted to get back into his grace. And I went off on a rogue mission to go ahead and try to get ahead of a potential rumor that I didn't even believe myself, hoping that it would catapult me back into the grace of Trump. And when that didn't work out and I got indicted, I was bitter, upset about being indicted and left behind. And then I decided to go ahead and flip for evil, corrupt politicians and prosecutors who wanted to get Trump to save my own life. I just summed it all up. Now that is dummy proof. Not to mention, this guy would say, I also got all the emails, all the records, all the communication. Now, if I present all of this to the jury and they say, well, I still think Trump's guilty, then that shows me that the jury has also either been compromised or some of those folks are that evil to overlook this testimony. I mean, I'm sure you get at least one person that will go, man, I started off going, let me see, if Trump is guilty. I'm not a big Trump fan. However, how can I overlook the obvious? Michael Cohen has not added anything. He has not convinced anybody. If anything, he's convinced folks that he's a liar and a manipulator along with Stormy Daniels. Then you throw this icing on top of the cake? That is very hard to overcome. It is very hard to overcome in your conscience to overlook this man's testimony and still say, well, I don't care about all of that. Trump's still guilty. And if all 12 jurors say he's guilty after hearing this guy's testimony, that means all 12 jurors is compromised.
Yes, because I'm a reliable person.
Go back to this meeting with Cohen, 2016. It's late October, early November. The election hasn't even happened yet.
No. It's April.
April.
Yeah, I like that.
2018.
Okay.
That means that guy's on it. He's like, I don't know if you made a mistake or not, or you just tested me. But I'm on it. No, let's get that straight. I know the dates.
Guy knows his dates. Now, I don't know if Bill was trying to trip him up on purpose, but this guy is solid. He knew his dates.
Gotcha. So can you explain how Cohen could procure the NDA on his own, right? He said his wife ran the house. He went out and got a home equity loan, okay? They're living in some pretty fat apartments on Park Avenue, right? So they've got the money on the home equity loan if they want it. How does he sign it?
Sure.
Without his wife knowing, which he has testified to. And why does he do it then? And is it solely for the purpose that he thought Donald Trump would give him a good job in the administration if he were to win?
Well, that's multiple questions there. Mm-hmm. Number one, he got a HELOC loan, as he referred to it, for the $130,000. The reason he did it that way was he told us, and I haven't seen the paperwork, but he told us that he didn't want Melania to know, and he didn't want his own wife to know, because he said that his wife handles the family finances, and if he took any money out of any of his accounts, she'd know it right away. According to him, she'd ask him 100 questions that he didn't want to answer.
And she would take one of those old school, big, black, heavy, cast iron frying pans that your mama and them used to cook pork sop and spam in, and go upside Michael Cohen's dome. That's what happened. Might have left the hot grease inside. So, Michael, I noticed that the $130,000 is missing out of our account. Well, I did it because I was trying to impress Trump and get in his good graces. Well, did you have any proof that this would work? No. Right now, it's just a wing and a prayer. Living on a wing and a prayer. She would have taken that frying pan and went to work. Boing. That's why he didn't say nothing. So here he is. He would have to admit it. I'm jocking Trump. And I want to be in the crowd with the cool kids. So I'm going to take a Hail Mary and risk $130,000. And hopefully Trump, he'll have favor on me and take me to Washington. And it didn't happen.
I haven't seen the paperwork for this HELOC loan, so I don't know whether he represented to the bank. Chances are that he didn't tell the truth on that application. He didn't say this is going to be money to take care of a non-disclosure agreement. Right. I don't know that. I'm just guessing.
Why has Alan Weisselberg not been a witness in this case to date? He's the longtime accountant, ran the Trump organization for more than 40 years.
Yeah, you would think he would be a wonderful witness for Fat Albert and them, right? That's what you would think, huh?
Well, I think if you listen to Andy McCarthy, who you just had on, he gave a very good analysis, and that is we are presuming that Alan Weisselberg does not have any information that would be helpful to the district attorney. Because if they thought he had helpful information, they would immunize him and bring him from Rikers Island over to the courthouse and have him testify. The fact that they haven't done that leads one to reasonably conclude that maybe Weisselberg doesn't have information that helps him, rather it helps Donald Trump.
Yeah, and they're not interested in any information that would be exculpatory evidence and exonerate Trump. They're not interested in that. So the guy who has all the connections, writes all the checks, the guy, the finance guy, they didn't even want to talk to him. Now, isn't that crazy? That goes to show how corrupt and evil Fat Albert is. So now he's using all of his resources to chase Trump down and to have security in New York and all of that. With this flimsy case, these raggedy, witnesses. And instead of just bringing the people in that could go ahead and speak to this. He says, leave that guy out, leave this man's testimony out, and you got to ask your question, why would he do that? I mean, what he's saying right here is crucial to the case. This guy right here, after hearing him, especially if he met with them before they even put together the grand jury, he should say, oh man, thank you for explaining that, man, this case is dead. I ain't going to go ahead and pursue this. But the fact he overlooked that and then tried to manipulate this guy who knows better by saying, well, it's hearsay. And this guy's going, hearsay. He had to give him the Uncle Ron. So you say it's hearsay, huh? Yeah. Don't want to put all the exculpatory evidence in, you say, huh? Yeah. Why you want to do that, huh? That's the question I got. Picking the teeth while looking at you with the side eye. Always got something in the mouth. So now let me get this straight. When somebody says that, you know you're in trouble. All right, now, let me get this straight. It's like, oh boy, he sees through me. He sees through me. Let's continue, though.
I think Andy McCarthy is 100% correct on that.
If Cohen did all of this on his own, but the jury sees that Donald Trump signed the checks, does that kind of evidence go to the prosecution's point?
No, I don't think so. I mean, listen, this is a prosecution for a false statement in a business record. Frankly, none of this tawdry stuff should have been allowed in. It's reversible error. If this case results in a conviction, it will definitely get reversed, but after the election, probably. And that's what they want.
Okay.
So in other words, this whole case is 100% uncut short. That's what it is. It is pure 100% short. And they're trying to shovel this short down the throats of the jury. Unreal.
The fact that Donald Trump signs the checks really doesn't mean anything. Do you know how many checks he probably sits there and signs? While he's president of the United States, he might be a little busy on something else.
Do you know Judge Marchand?
No,
I don't know that dirtbag.
But you have experience with New York juries, and what do you think about this particular jury and how they might be thinking about this case as they get ready for jury instructions fairly soon?
Well, I mean, it's New York City, so I understand that 87% of the voters voted not for Donald Trump in the last election. So you have to assume that there is Trump derangement syndrome out there and that this jury will be reflective of that. So that means there are some people on this jury who will vote to convict Donald Trump, no matter what evidence is presented or not presented. All you need is one or two reasonable people to hold up or hang the jury. And I think ultimately, if I was guessing or betting on this, I bet that that's probably going to be the result.
All I need is one. It just takes one. Yeah, now, once again, you add this man's testimony to this case, and I'm saying you can't get one. I'm listening to this guy, and I'm trying to imagine if I had the worst TDS ever, but I'm hearing what this guy's saying. Could I fight through all of this just to accommodate my TDS? Now, only way I would be able to do that if I'm not only suffering from TDS, but I have a moral deficiency as well. See, so you could find somebody with TDS, but have just enough morals intact to where they go, as bad as my TDS is acting up, my morals won't let me do this after hearing the obvious truth about what Michael Cohen was up to. Now, you probably got a lot of them out there with TDS that also got a broken moral compass. And in that case, they'll go, I don't care. Yes, it's obvious this dude's telling the truth and Michael Cohen's lying, but our goal is to stop Trump from getting in the office and becoming a tyrant and never ever leaving and destroying everything and sending black people and Latinos back to their country and all of this stuff. See, that's that TDS to where you say, my morals no longer matter. My activism right now is on the wheels of steel.
They may actually just get so disgusted and acquit him. But
so
it's hard to do that when 87% of the people vote for the other guy.
The story is entirely different now. He's done a 180. So maybe this, maybe the jurors believe him today, and they would not believe something from 6 years ago, Robert.
The rest of the proof doesn't support Michael Cohen. And by the way, one thing that you're not reporting yet is that besides making that statement, I swear to God, I don't have anything on Donald Trump, he also said more times than that answer, guys, I want you to understand, I will do whatever the F I have to do. I will never spend a day in jail. And then he'd slam his hand on the conference room table. And what does that mean to you?
Sounds like a desperate man. That's what that sounds like. Sounds like somebody would be doing out there. You know what? Whatever you want me to say. Did Donald Trump slaughter a whole bunch of orphans off of a bus, push them off the cliff? Absolutely. Does he smash baby seals on the weekend with a hammer? Yes, he does. Does Donald Trump, fart toxic gas that's killing folks? Only blacks, though. Only blacks and Latinos. Yes, he does. I'll say whatever I got to say to save my life. And that's the problem when you deal with a weasel like this. Let's continue.
That means this guy is saying, I will lie, cheat, steal, do whatever I have to do. I'm not going to jail. Well, he did go to jail. And who do you think he blames for that? And why do you think he names his most recent book Revenge? I mean, quite frankly, he's using this to monetize himself, because this is the only way this guy can make money right now. Selling books and T-shirts and trinkets and being the ultimate anti-Trumper. And because he was doing that on TV, and I saw that, I said, I can't sit by and let this guy tell the grand jury, tell the jurors now this false story when he told us the opposite story at a moment when he was desperately seeking a way out and was willing to kill himself. And
wow. Now imagine him saying that to the jury. There you go. Watched him on TV saying these things and said, man, I can't sit back. Nobody's paying me. My own moral conscience has kicked in and said, I can't let this happen. I'm watching this dude who been telling me all this stuff behind closed doors. See? And now all of a sudden saying something totally opposite. Can't let it happen. I'm going out. Now, are you sure you want to get involved in this? Absolutely. This guy's a liar. And he went out and he told this, but I'm saying, come on, Trump. I hope your lawyers don't just get overconfident and think that, well, things are going so bad for Alvin Bragg that I'm pretty sure by now the jury is going to go ahead and vote against the conviction, and we might not need this guy's testimony. In this case, more might be better. In this case, like I said, you got a TDS proof it, man. So this way, if you still get a conviction, you know you put everything out there that would make sure that we covered every basis. We don't want to leave no stone unturned for a dummy to go, well, if I would have heard this guy's testimony, I probably would have voted against the conviction. But since we didn't hear it, I just assumed that all of this other stuff. I don't want no chances, because the dagger in the heart of the left would be this very liberal jury acquits Trump. That would be the dagger. Now you will see Simone out there going, we seen him. We don't know why did. I want more of that. I want to see them whining and throwing their hands. That's what I want to see. Let's continue.
certainly cooperating with truthful information is a lot easier. But he didn't have any truthful information.
No truthful information.
That leads me to a question I was thinking about asking you, because you've had time with Michael Cohen. I've not. And I'm wondering about how you think his state of mind is now, because
Crazy.
As you said, he was suicidal when he first met you. He had diddles when he go to jail. He's now written a book called Revenge. He has said to the prosecution he does want Donald Trump to be convicted. And he's getting some strange new respect from liberal media and commentators, even actresses and comedians on the left-wing perspective. And I wonder how he thinks about that. Is he somebody who responds to that kind of flattery, but also is it because that's the way that he can actually continue to make money to support his family?
Of course, because being the ultimate Trump hater is a good industry to be in right now. See, honestly, everything is wired to help you do that. The left don't mind pouring money and effort and support behind anybody that could help them convince more Americans that Trump's evil. He's should be put in prison. If I want to get paid, if I really want to get YouTube off my back. And it's funny how people used to be like, man, you know what? How much is Trump paying you? Is the RNC paying him? Are you kidding me? We have to fight through all of the obstacles that are put in place to keep our word, message, our talent, anything from blowing up. Conservatives support. And there's a lot of conservatives out there that definitely have room enough to go around when it comes down to supporting other conservatives. The goal, though, is for the machine to suppress that and make it seem like there's no big support for conservatives. There's no big, huge platform for conservatives. They're few and far in between. And then elevate all of the radical, crazy, lunatic, mad, angry for nothing, dang on leftists. That's what they do. So if I was to switch my channel, you know what? I decided now that Trump is horrible and I see the light. They would have me on CNN, MSNBC. They'd bring me up to Congress. Now, when was it that you decided that Trump was evil? What made you change your mind? Aren't you Kevin from Kevin's Corner? Yeah, I would love it. I should do it just so they will bring me to Congress. Nasty Pelosi and all of them. He was a former Trump supporter. And then hit him with the flip script. They'd be like, when did you decide that Trump was evil and a white nationalist and was going to try to take over the whole country? I'd be like, well, I decided that when I psych on the motorbike. I'm just joking. Trump's the man. I still support Trump. And you know what? Get this black white nationalist out of here right now and have him flogged. What a peasant. Yes, I would love to see them go ahead and elevate me so I can hit him with the psych on the motorbike. So if I wanted to really get paid, all I have to do is capitalize off of victimization and Trump is evil and a white nationalist. And I get paid. You'll see my numbers just shoot up all over the place. But now Michael Cohen is getting paid. Now, honestly, as I watch him raising money off of TikTok, and even the guy who put together or at least showed this clip, he said the same thing. I thought to myself, how in the world is he getting paid this much off of TikTok? See, Democrats, they have ways to making things worth your while. And I'm sure a slimeball like Michael Cohen probably been like, look, I'm going to help y'all out, but I ain't got no way to make no money. I'm broke. How do you want me to survive if I can't get a job and all of this stuff? Don't worry. We got a way. How about you open up a TikTok, account, and mysteriously, a lot of people will just be dropping money into your account. They'll be supporting your cause somehow. Who these people are, don't know. Don't need to know. They would just be dropping all kind of money in your account. And I question that. Because I don't think liberals are sitting up at night listening to Michael Cohen and saying, now this guy, he gets it. Let's put 5,000 in here. Let's put another 50, 100. I can barely, I struggle. I struggle. I'm like, man, my channel has been suppressed so much. And I know conservatives do support when they can. But yet, Michael Cohen, liberals don't support that. They just wreck things. They don't build things up. Yeah, they cause havoc, and then once the havoc is gone, they bounce. They don't be dropping money. They want to shut down football games and then don't go. Talk about WNBA games, you know what, and then they don't show up to support. So they like to wreck things, but they don't drop money in. No, not at all. So I wonder about who's really supporting Michael Cohen's TikTok.
The answer is both. He does respond to the flattery. He is looking to make money, and he has been making money. Yeah. He's got a podcast. Apparently, it's called Mea Culpa, which is ironic because it's Latin that means through my fault. And it is through his fault that we're all here talking about this subject.
Final question.
Okay.
If you think Michael Cohen was telling the truth in 2018, maybe he was maybe he was lying 6 years ago. Maybe he's flipped again.
Of course, that's a possibility.
I was in the courtroom. I was in the courtroom the other day, and it was a well-rehearsed show between the prosecutor and Michael Cohen. It was Q&A. It was flip the page. He could almost anticipate the question, so he was very well rehearsed. But if you're saying he's lying now, who's to say he wasn't lying then when you first came across him?
I'll tell you why I believe that what he told us in 2018 was the truth. Number one, as I said, he was suicidal. He was desperately looking for a way out. The way out was clear, and that was to cooperate against Donald Trump if he had truthful information. Absolutely. He didn't take that way out. All day long, he said, I don't have anything, but I will do whatever the F I have to do. I will never spend a day in jail. Here's the other thing. Donald Trump, when he went to Washington, D.C., when he was elected, he took the whole Trump inner circle to Washington, with one exception, Michael Cohen. They left him back in New York. Michael Cohen was very unhappy about that. As I testified yesterday, during one of my conversations with Michael Cohen, when I asked him, Michael, what did you think was going to happen if you did go to Washington, D.C.? He said, I thought I could be Attorney General of the United States, or at least Chief of Staff to the President. Now,
so not only is he a jellyback, stinking, funky, disgusting lawyer, he also is delusional, y'all. He's a narcissist. And that man thought that, I got the qualifications and skills. I'm ready to go and get on the ark. No, not you, Michael. We need you to stay behind and monitor the rain. What? The rain? Isn't that a bad thing? Because, look, Michael, you're just the best rain monitor we have. That's all we're saying. I mean, who else can we trust to stand behind and make sure that the rain is actually filling up the whole earth? Okay? Now, I want you to report to us after the whole earth is flooded on how the rain was, okay? Well, how do I find you guys? Hey, Michael, don't worry about that. We'll find you. We'll find you. All right, everybody, close the door. We're out. Good luck, Michael. Good luck. As they're sailing away. Then the rain came and he's realizing, like, wait a minute. They left me behind to drown. For a minute, they had me thinking I was the best rain watcher that they had. But they left his butt right there. And now he's singing, I can't stand the rain.
As ludicrous as that sounds, I thought I was the only one that he had said that to until I noticed that during cross-examination...
You said that to somebody else?
I think it was Stormy Daniels' lawyer. Cohen actually said that to him. Now, this is your adversary. You're negotiating with this guy for an NDA, and yet you're telling him how annoyed you are that Donald Trump didn't take you to Washington where you could be attorney general or chief of staff. You don't think that's sitting on this guy's mind when he writes a book called Revenge? He went to jail, and he's left alone in New York. I think that's his motivation now.
Revenge! That's what the motivation is for Miguel. There it is. So y'all hear the testimony of, Costello. Was it Costello? And I'm hoping that the jury gets to hear this testimony too, to make it very difficult for them to overlook, including that stinking funky judge that should hear this and go, man, there's only a certain level of prostitution I can, because this is going to ruin my career if I try to still go forward with this and pretend that this testimony has not just blown the whole Alvin Bragg case to hell. If I still got to sit up there and go, I'll allow it. Let's continue moving forward with this. After hearing that, the judge should just say, man, hey, everybody approach the bench. Do you understand how devastating this is to your case? And you really want us to go forward with this? Right now, I can't, in all good faith, even though I'm corrupt as heck, I cannot let this continue. I'm going to go ahead and throw this whole case out. And I should have never brought it. But somehow, y'all done gave me some type of motivation to compromise my common sense, my years of understanding how the law works, and the trust that folks should have in me as a judge to look at this and say, all the elements of this case stinks to high heaven, but I'm going to bring it and allow it anyway. And then gag the man who is being put on trial for the stupidity. So anyway, we'll see, guys. I guess the beginning of the week will let us know if they're going to resume and bring him in to testify, or are they just going to rely solely on how in the world did Gizmo know this? As soon as I start wrapping it up, he came right into the room and looked up at me. Now he's on my leg right now, like, pick me up. Show me to the people. Show me to the people. Ah, boy, Gizmo. You know how to get to me. You know my soft spots, don't you? What do you think? Gizmo could see this. See his ears. He's like, yeah, that's my name. Don't wear it out. Gizmo would be able to see this. If you were sitting there, Gizmo, would you not be able to see this? Yeah, you would know, wouldn't you? Yeah, you're smart, Gizmo. Look at that face. Yeah, he has a face every mother could love. Yeah. So now, with that being said, more is better. Bring this guy in, stick a dagger in this case, and let's move on and see what they come up with next. That's exactly what they would have to do. All right, that one went down in flames. Let's see what else we can come up with. Hopefully nothing. Hopefully they'll finally realize we got to actually fight fair and square. And we all know what's going to happen if they do that. So God bless y'all. God bless America. Make sure y'all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. Enjoy yourself. And we will reach out to you guys again on Monday and see what kind of shenanigans presents itself then. Don't forget to text MAGA to this number. And I saw Don say, Kev, you should bring back your book. Some of y'all might know or not that I once written a children's book called Ralphie and the Woman in the White Coat. I did the audio to it and everything, but it's out of circulation now. It's been years. And, you know, it's funny because people contact me all the time. You want to go ahead and reboot your book? It was a children's book. And I'm like, yeah, maybe. You know, and I got another one in the chamber that was pretty funny because I do the voices and all of that stuff. So it's pretty cool. But we'll see. We'll see. I have to find out what publishing company might be interested in it and go from there. But yeah, so who knows? We'll see what happens. So don't forget, if you want to support the channel, you can do that through my Cash App or my PayPal, or just simply going to Kevin's Corner store and purchasing some items. That is always greatly appreciated. Now, with that being said, let's get ready to get out of here, y'all, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. Where's my hat thing on it? I don't know where I put it. This is our city. Yeah. See y'all next time in Kevin's Corner. Take care.